Originally from Chicago. I was born in Chicago. That's OG place of birth. My family moved to West Africa, Cameroon and Nigeria, back and forth. I'm half Cameroonian, half Nigerian heritage. I moved back here, 96.
It was the 80s. Africa in the 80s was amazing. It was like everything was, oil was being sold and we were making money, and the random people were just getting rich, and the 80s, like dressing and party and all that stuff was going on. It was like there were a few coups, a few military coups, nothing too serious, some curfews, but it was cool.
I went to school in the north of Nigeria in Maiduguri, and that's really close to Chad, so there's a lot of Fulani music, and that's really some of the best music I heard in Africa was Fulani music, because they use their own crafted instruments, their own kinds of guitars and stuff. They use a lot of hollow instruments and the singing, and I think the way they kept time, the polyrhythms, the drums and the way the guitars were just flowing differently, kind of creating a space in between each other. I love that, and I think that's something that's always going to stay with me in anything I produce. They use the pitch that Arabian musicians sing at sometimes. They use that pitch. Another thing was I think some of the instruments were borrowed. The Fulani are a migrating tribe. They're like the gypsies of Africa. So they borrowed. There was probably a little bit of Arabian influence, a lot of Kushite influence, some Ethiopian influence in their music. And then they just somehow managed to transplant that stuff without really carrying too much of the stuff in between. So it's almost like gypsies. Like they really did have their own sound. They had a little bit of like their heritage.
Abasinjoh is the name that I remember when I was a kid. They used to talk about the medicine man or the witch doctor, or from the village in Cameroon where my family's from. And I just remember thinking it was really cool because they said he used to go around exposing like stuff, like exposing fake medicine man, and he would just go out and like expose people who were pretending to be, juju men and stuff. And he was kind of like, people were scared when he'd be there because if they weren't real, he'd be able to tell. So I just kind of stole the moniker just from that.